Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question to Senator Dill.
And I assume you're only 5 years old, is that correct?
I'd like to be 5.
How about Representative Kinney?
Thank you. Melvin, could you tell the committee on mic your full name?
The name is Melvin J. Williams, and I live in Waldoboro. I milked cows for 35 years. Cow stepped on a foot, leg left. So I'm on that little minimum Social Security. And it's not, you know, the extra, it's just regular. I did get old, I didn't get that old. Hard to believe.
I know what you mean.
I'm going to catch up with you people.
Nancy, the deal I'll make with you here is that you didn't know, but most people gave 2 testimonies. Evidently, I didn't make it clear that there was 3 minutes and you could do one or you could do both or a part of each.
Oh, I signed up for both.
I realize that, and a lot of people did, and they didn't know until we got here. They had to. That's why they had 2 testimonies prepared. But I'll split the difference with you. I'll give you another minute and a half. Is that fair enough?
A minute and a half.
Well, we're gonna end up holding these folks here, and I don't want to keep them past 6 o'clock.
Okay. I paid $5 a piece out of my little Social Security money to give this to you. This is the definitive collection of scientific papers with 143 scientific references from independent scientists from around the world. There is one particular thing that bothers me about these GMOs, and that is the Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria that is used to break into the seed DNA so that Monsanto, Bayer, and so on can insert pesticides and antibiotics and other viruses like cauliflower mosaic virus, which also will cross species. It's scary. So let's go for the gold. Let's not go for the bronze and get the copper or whatever. People keep saying, and by the way, Mopka said this 15 years ago. I had my representative introduce a bill, Martha Bagley, to label all GMOs. I've been on this issue since 1998. And before people had even testified, Mopka came in and said, well, let's just back it off and do this, 718, 15 years ago. So you can imagine how unhappy I am all these years later. I don't have the power or the money or anything. I'm just me, jumping up and down, saying this is what we must do. And it is what we must do. As far as animals being fed, pasture is much better anyway, as all of us farmers know. You pasture your animals, feed them on pasture, everybody will want that. People want organic food. Do a survey. So, please, would you please at least read the executive summary in this? It's only 2 pages, 6 and 7. And also, look at some of the effects of Agrobacterium. Here are various threads coming out of people's bodies who live near GMO cornfields, breathing the pollen, of course, because pollen travels on the winds, which is why GMO and organic cannot coexist, because many organic farmers' crops have been contaminated and thus lost for market because of GMO. And by the way, Monsanto then sues and says, you planted our seeds without our knowledge, even if you didn't, and then they win. This is corporations controlling the world's food supply, and we, the people, can and must resist, and people all over the world are. 60 countries have banned GMOs, they've banned Monsanto. We're last here. We're last. So please, I'm asking you, if you really want to label GMOs, 1326 is the only way to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. We see your passion that you have for this. And also want to thank everyone here for their... Oh.
Is there anyone else who wanted to testify? Representative? Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Representative Warren, are you here to testify?
No.
Okay. Please stand.
You want to sign both these, or how are we doing that?
You're going to end up talking about each. Do that.
There we go. Well, I'll talk first and then I'll sign in. My name's Will Niels. I'm a lifetime resident of St. George River Valley. I was born and raised in Appleton, and I've lived in Hope and Appleton my whole life. I'm 38 years old. I've been a social organizer coming to these buildings since 1995 when I was 18 years old. Some of you, Mr. Murray, has seen me for a long time. He's probably tired of it. But anyways, I remember when they first brought up GE field corn and BT field corn here, and it came before the Board of Pesticide Control. Ms. Oden and I were there in 1998, pointing out that there would be social repercussions if this came through, and that there would be health repercussions. And so, at this time, I could go into great detail and cite a lot of scientific data, like the doctor we listened to earlier. I appreciate your openness to the gentleman from Yonkers and your encouragement to bring him back here as a technical advocate for your work session. I think that's crucial and is a truly different way of dealing with resources like that.
Well, we don't pay him, but he volunteered.
I understood
on his
that.
own.
Don't worry. I understood. Nonetheless, I appreciate you encouraging him to participate. Thank you. I understand the work session process. I've been doing this 20 years, unfortunately, without pay. And the point, though, is that Maine is at a sort of a very specific point, and we currently have all the money from industry who are here threatening this committee and everybody else, saying, you know, we made a deal last year, and we're never going to negotiate with you in good faith again because you're reneging on the deal. And people who were involved in that are saying, actually, that wasn't the deal, this is the deal. And I appreciate that because we're at a crucial point in Maine history. You know, as America enthusiastically rolls itself off at the edge of the cliff with health and food policy that is having a long-term repercussion on the health and the potential sustainability of literally our species in this country. I mean, the new data that just came out that claims that 50% of the kids in our country are going to have autism in only 2025 because of GMO products. You know, 50% of the population, if 50% of the population of children born are autistic, that's going to really tinker with how things run in this country. And you know, the point is we're at a fulcrum point. And we need to recognize that the knowledge and the skill and the culture and the heritage that has made this state great did not come from multinational corporations. It never came from people like Monsanto or, you know, the people in the shadows like Severin Beliveau who actually pulled the strings to make things happen. The same man who sued, you know, Oakhurst and also was hired by Mafia to get that law passed last year. Those aren't the people we need to listen to. You need to listen to the citizens of this state. Don't listen to the industry people who finally had a farmer. Thank God, Melvin, you testified. Otherwise, they would have been literally only paid representatives here speaking for their initiatives and against these initiatives. You know, you need to recognize that America is the laughingstock of the world, and it is due to the vision of people like Vandana Shiva and amazing other activists around the world who have protected the area and all over Europe that we have, fortunately, billions of people living in a healthier state than we are here. But we need to take their example and learn from that. Don't listen to the multinationals. Keep the culture and the traditional heritage we have in the state safer than it could be. Please give us the right to food and make sure that we can finally actually see if these corporate weasels are selling us toxins. It's going to end up killing the kids.
Will, you said your name, right?
Will Niels, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else present who would like to testify on any of these bills? Please step forward.
I'm going to make this real quick. Nisha Swanson from Food and Water Watch had to leave, so I wanted to make sure her testimony got circulated. And there are voluntary GMO labeling, the ability for people to label their food as GMO free.
You can't testify. You can pass her material out. But we can't give you her time to be able to speak.
Okay, that's fine.
You did have 3 minutes, right?
On the other bill. That's fine, Representative. It's late. I don't want to take up
I'll give
any
you the
more of
same
your
offer,
time.
though, if you want a minute and a half.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Is there anyone present who would like to testify on either or any of these bills? Seeing none.
Okay, then that closes our hearing.